Hi guys, welcome back to Knife Mania. Still on this lockdown, whatever, and Goofy Governor made the rules even more strict. However, I got my paperwork, so I'm back to work, which is nice or not nice. But anyway, I wanted to do kind of a special sharpening video. This stone is older than I am. This was my father's. It's a whetstone. It's by Buck Knives. And I wanted to show you how to use it. I've already gone through and sharpened a few knives, so it's already pretty well oiled. But more oil won't hurt. I use WD-40, the same thing my dad always used on the stone. It's the only lubricant my dad ever used on this stone. Now the stone, unfortunately, came loose from the pad. I tried re-gluing it. It still won't stick. So I just have to make do, right? Family heirloom type of deal, right? So, you cover the stone lightly with WD-40. Smear it around. Now, this is actually the first sharpening video from start to finish. Now, these old stones is what I grew up with. This is how I learned to sharpen my knives. You know what? I've been using this more than my Bark River here lately. It's sharp, but... Oh, you guys couldn't see that. Not a clean cut. Now, when you get done with a knife, you should be able to... Now, the Puko I already resharpened. The Puko I use every day. You should be able to... Oops. Nice clean cut. And even on your thicker knives, like the Felton Even A1 or the Bark River Squad Leader 2, or on your bushcraft knives, or even your pocket knives, you should be able to do that. That's how you know your knife is truly sharp. But anyway, the oil's set, the stone's ready. Now I put I like the convex grinds. The way you do that, lay your knife on your stone, and you work back and forth. And you do this. I'm just holding on with my fingertips, not putting a lot of pressure on it. Nice halfway sharp, but it's not shave sharp. You know what I mean? And I just work it. The back and forth motion will give you a natural convex sharpening. You just do this for a few, and this is VG10, I think. This is a samurai knife. It's a VG10, and I think it's CPM 3V on the outside. So, both super steels. Really good steels. I don't know if you guys... Yeah, you can see. The oil's picking up on it and everything else. The most important thing is while you're doing this, you check it. You want to make sure all the grind marks are going the same way. You want to make sure you're holding the angles the same way. You know, you want to make sure the scratch marks are the same length as far as the height coming up the blade. And it takes practice. So before you sit down and do this, practice on a knife that you can more or less abuse. You know, I learned how to do this with my old Buck 110. My dad always carried a Buck 110. Yeah, just take your time. That rocking motion your hand naturally gives from pushing back and forth will give you the convex. And once I realize it's really close, I'll do a couple strapping moves with it, which is traditionally like this. Now, the knife's not ready yet, but I'll do that to true up the edge. And then I take my little work sharp with a rouge on it, because that's a leather pad, and I'll actually strap it before I test it on the paper again. But it shouldn't take too long because I didn't let it get too dull. It's just dull enough to where it just doesn't want to cut through the paper. So, and actually my puku, the reason why I used it last night again for food prep, we were making hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, and we forgot to pull the hot dogs out. So I was cutting through frozen hot dogs. Ice is not a nice friend, especially a knife edge. So, I mean, if you're going to do something dumb, you gotta be able to fix it, right? So, I'll do this a couple more times. I'll double check it. It shouldn't take much. If you take care of your knives and you sharpen them properly, it shouldn't take much to get them sharp. You know, if my knives are really bad after, like, I've been out in the field for a week, been up north camping, batoning, doing all kinds of hard work. I wouldn't call it abuse because your knife is your tool. But, and we're not talking about, never mind, we're not going to go there. A knife is a tool. It's not a weapon unless you use it as a weapon. I hate that. You know, oh, you got a knife, you got a weapon. What? My fist is a weapon, you dumb fool. It all depends on how you use it. Now that is getting there. Alright. Won't take long. So I'm just going to do this a few more times and then I'll do a couple strapping moves with it. And then I'll wipe the oil off of it. And I'll strap it right fast. Spread that oil back out. Keep the whole stone oiled. When you're doing this, the oil will move to the outsides of your stone. You don't want your stone to get dry. And obviously I laid down a towel, old rag, you know, because it can make a mess depending on how many knives you're sharpening. Or if you're using wet, like water stones, like my Japanese water stones, yeah, that makes an even bigger mess. And I don't even know if you can buy these stones anymore. So if you come across them, buy them. These things work great. Especially for touch-ups, like when your knife's not completely dull. So, wipe the oil off of it, most of it. I'll still go back and re-oil it and wipe it down before I put it away and clean it. But you can, you can kind of see how that edge is different. Oh, that one you can really see. But that ain't no big deal. Ooh. Hear that rouge going to work. Now strapping is just help to clean up. I mean, technically, yes, you could do this to sharpen the knife, but you'd be there forever. So, now, we've seen it. Try to cut. Let's find a good spot, like right here. No cuts in it yet. That's a sharp knife. So until next time, guys, that's an actual touch-up sharpening. Like I said, this was my dad's. It's a buck Washita stone, number 134. Like I said, it's older than I am, but obviously it still works. You see, here, let's do it again. I love doing that. I love cutting paper. Whoop. That's a bad way to hold it. Let's try it this way. Oh, what the? I'm going into all these other cuts and cracks. There it goes. So, and believe it or not, there is a trick to doing that with paper. You gotta make sure you got a flat piece of paper. You try to stay away from the folds. If it goes through the folds, that's cool. Whatever. But this knife is now sharp. So, until next time, guys, keep your fingers out of the way. Keep your knife sharp and keep your sanity. Later, guys.